You come out and it's a halfway decent day, but you can see that's not going to last long. Okay, it definitely ain't going to last long because they're doing this shit to the sky. They're spraying chemical contrails in front of the sun. Okay, and there's no getting around it. How nice a day it would be if it wasn't for this shit. Okay, that's what they're doing. They spray this shit in the sky and it spreads out in the haze. Alright? And they spray it right in front of the sun. And it's all that shit you see there. I'm getting a better phone. I'm getting a camera. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to show you in detail. But they spray this shit right in front of the sun. And it blocks the sun out. Okay? Right when the sun begins its set pattern, they start spraying. All this shit here is all chemical contrails. Everything in the sky is chemical contrails. All that white haze. Everything you see. That's all chemical contrail. There, it goes up from the west to the east. They spray it in front of the sun. Make it colder. All that's chemical contrail, white haze. People ask me for proof. What do I gotta get your address and bring the phone and put it on my channel and smack you on the head with the phone? What are you talking about? Can't you see what they do to the sky? They asked me for, look at that, man. All that white haze back there is chemical contrail production. I can't get over it. I mean, maybe you'd have to stand here to see this shit. See what they're doing. The whole sky is chemical contrails. And we'd have a nice sun. It'd be even warmer. I'd say it'd be a good 8 degrees warmer. Now last night for some reason there was a pretty clear sky after the chemical contrails cleared up. They did clear up. And I seen one shooting star, which is, I only call it a shooting star so people know what I'm talking about. But it's not a shooting star. It's not debris hitting the Earth's atmosphere from outer space. Okay, what it is electrical discharges in the firmament, like sprites. Like they're starting to tell people about sprites, but they've known about them. Now the sprites, when they go off at a very high altitude, they say at a high altitude, and I could believe that. You could trace them north. Let's say north is the electrical discharge going up and south is going down. It seems like the sprites go down, but in accordance with doing that, they have like a backfire that hits the firmament, and you can trace the firmament. You see how that spreads out? It spreads out into a blanket of white haze. That'll all spread out. And my whole sky is all white. But sprites trace the firmament. Okay, and you can't have a atmospheric pressure. It can't remain fixed in one place on the Earth unless it was contained. If space was a vacuum, what a -9 torr, I think I just read, they say. That's like 10 times stronger than any vacuum we could make on the Earth. And that's strong. Okay, those chemical contrails, the oxygen, all those chemical contrails would get sucked away, and they hate that word suck. You know, they want you to believe that the atmospheric pressure is rushing into an area that's void of atmosphere or oxygen, which would be the vacuum. That the vacuum's not doing anything, there's nothing there, no sucking pressure. but it's the atmospheric pressure that is surrounding outside will rush into any empty area, and that is total baloney. That is a bologna sandwich. And the ham sandwich is that the vacuum, when you suck out, you can only have a vacuum by removing the air. It cannot happen without someone doing it. It doesn't, like nature does abhor a vacuum. Now, a fire inside a glass jar will remove and burn the oxygen. And instead of placing the egg on the top, which they'll say the outside air pressure is pushing the egg in, that's bull, that's baloney. Because you can substitute your hand for the hard-boiled egg, and you can feel the vacuum inside pulling on the skin on the palm of your hand. And it's not the atmospheric outside pressure going through your skin and bones trying to push the skin on the palm of your hand inside that jar. It's the vacuum within the glass jar that pulls on your skin on the palm of your hand. It's just so stupid. So stupid. They gotta have people believe that. Or else they'd be sitting in school saying, well, how does the atmosphere and oxygen and gaseous atmosphere, how does it maintain itself against such a vacuum as an infinite and expanding universe vacuum? You know, they'd be asking that. No, it's the pressure. It's the pressure that would rush in. But our pressure is contained by gravity, keeps the atmosphere to the earth, velcroed to the earth. I'd ask, how does gravity from the earth propagate? See now, how would gravity from the center of the earth propagate up to the atmosphere and hold it down? By what means? Current, field, wave, beam, ray, particle, graviton, none of it's detectable. Now, you can read in most articles on gravity that they have discarded Newtonian gravity. And they state now they're going with Einstein's curvature of space-time. So now our atmosphere adheres to the Earth from a curvature of space-time that's curving everywhere around the mass of the Earth. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. All this, all that, and everything you see on the screen is all man-made. All man-made. Terrible, evil, what they're spraying in the skies. That there was a horrendous, terrible chemical contrail. But, I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I gotta quit smoking. Terrible habit, but I must admit I do enjoy it. Even though it's toxic and polluting the temple of God. What was I was talking about a vacuum. Oh, the gravity. Gravity is such a farcical force, and they got to rely on it 8 out of 10 times for an answer to all the magical stuff that happens on a... You know, if it can't be demonstrated in nature, if it can't be demonstrated, if it doesn't occur naturally, or you can't demonstrate it on the earth, then it's fake. If it's propped up by theoretical nonsense like special relativity and quantum physics, you people out there are being deceived about quantum computers. That's all nonsense. There's some powerful computers out there, but they will never rely on their own decision making. They will always rely on a program, a pre-program. The only answers they can come up with are the ones that they are supplied with. They will never be able to come up with their own answer. They'll always have to have a data bank. They can connect it to the internet. You know, that's all possible. But quantum mechanics, where they think they can open up portals, that's all nonsense. That's heliocentric nonsense. Okay, we can't do that. I mean, the real fourth dimension is the spirit world. We live in a three-dimensional world, up, down, and width. Okay? And the fourth dimension is the spiritual world, or then that leaves the physical world. The fourth dimension is heaven, you know, angels and demonic entities. I don't like to say entities, demonic spirits. But that's all gravity and artist renderings of a gravitational lensing and redshift. It's all bullshit. The Earth is at rest. Michelson morally proved that. And Einstein came up with special relativity to counter it. That he made up when our objects get larger, I forgot what they call it. You know, there's so much to remember. And I remember when I was a heliocentric globe head, all I did was memorize shit. The hell with understanding it. Just memorize material so you can regurgitate it amongst your friends and see who's the smartest. And that's what you would think. You were smarter if you could memorize more info. Okay, yes, it's like length reduction. You know, like Michelson-Morley, they did a test with 2 beams of light and to see if the Earth was going around the sun. Well, one beam of light should have been shorter, facing or in the direction that the Earth is supposedly going towards the sun, west. And then they put a light beam going, it was perpendicular north, and they were both the same. Both lights had maybe 1 iota of difference, but that was it. They were basically the same in time that it took for these lights to be reflected and come back. And it proved for several years, almost a decade, that the Earth was at rest, and it put the scientific world up in arms, embarrassment, that the Earth was at rest and everything in the sky moved around the Earth. And then you got to enter Einstein, the plagiarist, liar. Everything from relativity, general relativity, and special relativity, none of it can be demonstrated. It's just they make up calculations to represent what they're saying, and I can do that. I can make up an equation to represent that garbage can over there being tipped upside down. Okay? But none of the relativity about the time dilation. Time does not dilate. Time is just a 4-letter word. Time, real time, eternity, it's all been warped. It's been warped. We believe that time is influenced by the appearance or departure of the sun. No, real time is not influenced by the appearance or departure of the sun. Okay, day and night, that doesn't influence real time. There is no such thing as yesterday or tomorrow. Those are just words of a human dictionary. They're means for us to remember or to plan. Okay, but what we are right now, 10 years ago, today, tomorrow, we are in the constant present. Okay, the constant present is always where you are. Okay, now yesterday and tomorrow are just means for us to remember and plan. Real time is not influenced by the appearance or departure of our sun, a day or a night. Okay, that's just when we go to sleep. Real time, they try to describe it with a 4-letter word, and time doesn't dilate, it doesn't slow down. Not real time. Okay, and objects, when they reach a certain speed, the speed of light, they don't shrink, they don't get bigger, they damn sure don't shrink. Okay, that's ridiculous. Einstein had to make that up because he said a part of Michelson-Morley's apparatus shrunk. You know, the metal part that contained the beam of light going towards the sun west, they say that part of the apparatus shrunk. But the light that was affixed to the apparatus going north or perpendicular didn't shrink. One part did, but not 2 feet far from each other. One part shrank and the other didn't, and you can't know. They say you can't notice it, but it's real. This length shortening. It's ridiculous the shit they got to make up to prove that to assert that the Earth is an object, any object going around the sun, be it a ball or whatever they want, a triangle, a pizza disc. That's ridiculous, because we live in a three-dimensional world, and physical property in the Earth is the only thing in reality that's physical property. Everything in the sky is basically plasma, light,